Have you heard of Socionic?
Hmm.
No, that one is quite interesting, but it's not so popular. But I really like that. It's I memorized a lot of relationship pairing from that frameworks. Uh,
LIE. Uh, that is how it's characterized as three characters.
mm.
Am I right? Mm.
Yeah, I think the most meaningful one is that they have this drop down quiz or table where you just select your type and you select your partner type, and they will give you the rating and the type, the name of the relationships, and they have a ranking of from best to worst relationships.
Oh, you mean matchmaking? Compatibility. Is that what you mean?
No, socionic relationships, socionic relations.
Okay.
Whether it's love, romantic, working, whatever, it's just a form of romance. It's about information flow.
Got it. Got it. There is also this compatibility with MBTI, right? The 16 types. Have you gone through that? I mean, INTJs match with ENFPs, something like that.
But that one is not very official.
Is
The
it?
I think
Okay.
the standard compatibility statement that most sites will say is that any mature two type can be compatible. Any type
True.
can work.
True.
Then of course there's some
Yeah.
more like other things. Of course some, I think there might be a few books that talk about compatibility. Then
Hmm.
some say NT is the best and NF is the best, or NT, some say NT and NF the best. But the most interesting thing I learned from Socionic is quite outrageous, but also quite true from my observation is duality relationship, which is complete opposite type are supposed to be soulmates. Supposed to be the perfect information flow. So if you are INTJ, your perfect soulmate is ESFP.
That is so bad.
It's just that the author say that just that because a lot of people they grow up without a figure, a parental figure or a role model who is of the opposite pair. So they are not familiar. They are, yeah, they don't get to feel that they don't have a sense of what is a functional relationship or flow should be. But if they are, if they are more patient and have enough time to interact with that opposite type, they start to realize that they really get you and compliment you in a way that is like yin and yang.
Mhm.
And that is what very true because I am INFP, and all the ESTJ people I have met, I get along for some reason. Even though they are in terms of
Bossy.
temperaments,
Mhm.
yeah, they are very bossy. They are very they. I mean, from a first look, they won't expect me to get along with them because I'm more laid back and and they are the very opposite. I tend to have problem with ENTJ. Just one letter different, then it's caused a lot of problem. Yeah, but that's a funny thing because yeah, so that is the one that at least for me lah, I think it's true and it's go against. It's so true that it's go against yeah the first superficial impression whether two people can get along. Of course, usually people think that two people get along the best if based on conventional wisdom is they are similar values and maybe it's just similar have similar vibe. If you're both laid back, you're both lazy or whatever, or you're both yeah logical. The more similar you are, the easier for you to get along. I think that is quite true, especially in the case of the two people of the same type, but one is extrovert and one is introvert. From my observation, they get along very well. You definitely, I think you get along very well with ENTJ. Uh, Even though they are the typical CEO who are very brush, very blunt, but I think they will really appreciate you for your guidance. I think that is definitely. It's because it's basically you are just the same thing. It's just inside out.
That is true. I mean, ENTJ, INTJ, that from what I have observed, yes, that works very well. But also, at what stage of their life they are.
Mm.
For example, my humor at times goes very sarcastic, and there are people who just don't get what I'm saying, and I get frustrated because
Mm.
the company is such. But there were these certain ENTJs who could build on the statements or comments I made. That was dark and whatever. I mean, I know you personally hate those kind of insensitive comments or remarks, but that conversation, it went like a spiral conversation, and that was one of the times I felt my best, or talking to someone, or I enjoy talking to someone. But if you
Mm.
go back to the, say, maybe a relationship between INTJ and ENFP, which is
Mm.
also sometimes told to be a good pair, NT to NF. I had a friend, NF, ENFP. I couldn't handle
Mm. Mm.
conversations there, drama.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
NF, healthy or unhealthy, when it is not. I mean, I was very comfortable, that I should say. NFs have that ability to make people comfortable. Outside that, without having meaningful conversations, that was just too much to handle.
Okay. Compatibility. I think this is a very interesting research survey in 2000, done in 2000 by some, I forget the name. It's based on, it's a married counselor who did survey on a couple coming to counseling, and they rank the marriage happiness from among the combinations. So the top most happy couple are SJ and SJ. Then comes second is NF, and the most unhappy couples are a person that have N and another person that have S. So I get I saw the SN divide that caused a big problem. And but then again, so I think yeah, it's good to notice the SN divide here to show that is intuitive have a lot of have a wide spectrum of happiness when it comes to marriage. They have a lot to lose. So in a way, it's that they have a lot to lose if they choose the wrong partner. But as people, they tend to be more in the middle. You can see a lot of the middle people are S. So yeah, they have less variation in their choice partner. And also to answer the HO question of who is better for who, some sources say NF should go with NF, but some sources say NF should go best with NT. So as we can see from here, at least from this survey perspective, there's NF should definitely go with NF for the maximum happiness. But for NT, if I'm an NT person, I have a slight edge. Actually, not a slight, it's quite a big edge. If I get a partner who is an NF instead of an NT, which is very average.
Hey, sorry to interrupt.
Mm.
What is the difference between NT and NF and NF and NT?
NT is so the survey, that means the result reflect the first letter, the first person.
Agreed. See, if you see the pointer, those two lines, right? It's just the same, just that NT comes first and NF comes next. Is it male first and female next? Is it how it is?
I think it's a survey. So the result who reported 65% happiness is the NT. This NT report.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
So in an
yeah,
NT-NF relationship, NT reports 65% happiness and NF reports 64% happiness. Is that correct?
yep.
Okay, got it, got it.
So yeah, if you're an NT and you want to maximize your happiness, go for an NF. I guess the letter F here stands for happiness and feeling. But well, again, the question is happiness everything for a relationship? Maybe I definitely know that happiness is not everything for work. The most productive team or the best team may not be the most happy team. But for relationship, it's up to you to decide whether you want growth, you want challenge, or you want just happiness. But it's good to keep in mind that it's very interesting how our choice of partner can affect, and this temperament does help. There's a quite big gap here, and there's a big difference between the top result, which is 80%, and the bottom.
All of us.
That is.
If you go back to the compatibility page, right, there is one on SJ and NT. I am surprised it says 62%.
No, it's SJ. Oh, where's NTSJ? NTSJ is 52.
NTSJ, yeah, true. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. But SJs, ISTJs, again, okay, that's 62 makes sense. But ESFJs, my God.
You prefer ESFJ?
No, not at all. That is a disaster, trust me.
Yeah, but from my experience, there are quite a lot of pairing between INTJ and ESFJ.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess it's more. I think it's more towards I don't know what the bonding is. There's a special bond there, and I think can be explained by Enneagram and not by MBTI.
Yeah, that could be a point too. Yeah, I agree.
Do you know MBTI? Are you familiar with Enneagram?
Yep, I am.
Oh, not bad. Good. In future we'll do some Enneagram. I'm quite a big fan of Enneagram too. It's not as, I would say, the theory is less complex, but it's have a very different level of a very different value. I can explain a lot of things using Enneagram and not MBTI.
I will give you my situation. Tell me what you make out of it. My Enneagram was 8 wing 7, I guess, or 8 wing 9. So 8 is the primary number. And I am a INTJ. Is it common for INTJ to have 8 as a primary type?
Definitely common, not the most common, but definitely common. Enneagram and MBTI correlation. Show you. Have you seen this chart before?
Yep.
So let's see, INTJ 2.2%. Yeah, not the most common.
So I am an INTJ T, and my percentage of introversion is 50 something. It's not very strong, and that's evident, right? I speak a lot, or I talk a lot, and given that with 8 as a primary number, so I'm trying to categorize if it's a healthy INTJ or an unhealthy INTJ. And INTJ T has its own say strengths and weaknesses. More also, let's AJ drop. Oh, okay. I possibly was boring him. T's have, there's a lot of difference between INTJ T's and A's. So comparing those two and matching that with Enneagram 8, I am trying to make sense. That's